Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Business with DBO. And I'm excited with my special guest, Toni Rodriguez. Now, she doesn't just do business in the woodlands, but she does have her own Facebook Live show called Bubble Talk, where she deals with movers and shakers of industry and also covers subjects such as health and wellness. I'm very excited for her because she's also in real estate. She takes care of 1414 Texas Avenue. If you're moving to Houston or you work in Houston, this is a great place to live. Beautiful place. She's more than willing to give you a tour. But that aside, she has a phenomenal testimony of strength and courage, and not just that fluffy stuff. She's really a hard worker, and I'm super excited to have this interview with her. So let's jump in mid-conversation with Toni Rodriguez.
I'm so excited to be your number one person guest. I didn't even know that.
Oh yes. Well, see, that's
oh
one.
Oh my goodness.
And so
you tricked me on that one. You tricked me on that one.
But you know what? You deserve it.
Oh, thank you.
And once you hear her story, you will understand.
Wow.
So let's paint a picture. Who is Toni?
Wow. Toni Rodriguez has many facets.
Okay.
There's many sides to me. There's the single mom who has been assertively raising two boys and been a divorcee, single mom. I always like to say a cow raising bulls. It's not really pretty, but it's the truth. I'm also a dance educator for many, many years.
Okay.
I had the great opportunity of being a director at Bonnie's Performing Arts in the Woodlands. Many of you know she is a true icon in the Woodlands community, and so is that dance studio. And there's the real estate / property management side of me. Okay. So that is what I do here at 1414 Texas in our lovely 2-bedroom, 2-bath showroom here.
Yes.
And the last but not least is my Facebook Live. Like my true passion and love is to inspire people.
Okay.
And to motivate people.
Phenomenal. And I tell you what, I've seen your Facebook Live, and I've seen what you've done here because I worked with a lot of buildings out here. Now, for you to come from the Woodlands to downtown,
oh yeah,
what are you thinking?
Money.
Hey.
Plain and simple.
Gotcha.
I need to make money to supplement my income. It's the reason I started my Facebook Live show, but I needed a career that was very secure and very stable.
Okay.
To provide some stability for my son, who's now 17, hi Thomas, and a senior at Woodlands High School. He's going to be mortified that I said hello and his name. He's very shy. He's my incredible athlete, great student, great child. I have two great boys. My oldest, Marcus, is 25, and my youngest is 17. Yeah.
I'm telling you, she had her first child at 11. There's no way she has a 25-year-old.
Oh, God bless you, Robert. So yeah, I decided that I hit a place in my life where I needed to venture out, that there was so much more, Robert, for me to explore.
Okay.
That so many of my counterparts, so many of my amazing friends there in the Woodlands, I felt like I'd settled into a life that I'm stuck, or I'm in a rut, or I've been doing this career 25 years, Toni. I don't know how to do anything else. And I have never, ever lived my life like that. I've always felt like there was always something more out there for me to explore, do, or be. And that's why I took the position with Greystar, which, by the way, is the #1 property management company in the world.
Yes.
I'm so excited to be a part of it.
So when you saw some of your counterparts, your friends, were you out there in the Woodlands at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
Still there. I'm still there.
Trust me, guys, you're talking about 30-mile commute at least, back one way.
43 miles each way,
Ooh.
to be exact.
Oh, you live deeper.
43, yeah, I'm 1488. I'm way
okay. Yes. Okay, yes, you are. Yes. So with that kind of commute, with that kind of commitment, I'm pretty sure your son knows that you love him dearly.
Absolutely.
To make this happen. What personal gain do you get from it? Personal satisfaction from being able to provide for your two boys?
I'm going to have to say this without crying. There's a very emotional side of Toni Rodriguez. I have made great sacrifices and great compromises in my life to be a provider, to be a both mother and father to my boys.
Okay.
That takes a tremendous amount of courage because you don't have the other significant person to bounce ideas off, to ask, or do you think this is a great idea? Am I doing the right thing?
Right.
What it's made me is being a very strong single mom is very decisive. So
Okay.
I'm very clear-headed. I make decisions based on practicality and not emotion. Can you believe that? Because I'm a crybaby. But I just have to be very tunnel vision
Yes.
and very certain that God gave me this incredible strength and sound mind to make good decisions for these two boys. And maybe in all practicality to other people, taking a position downtown might not make a lot of sense because there's great opportunities in the Woodlands. But for me, it took me to a place where I'm going to be able to develop and grow through the ranks here at Greystar. And I see myself not just being here at 1414 Texas, but being in the Greystar company for a very, very long time. And I saw an opportunity and there was nothing holding me back.
Wow. So when you made this transition and decided to adapt, because mind you, you're coming from dancing,
Yes.
you come from all these aspects, entertainment,
Oh yeah.
and teaching, and now you're coming here.
Yes.
The type of skill set that you have.
Lots of life skills.
Yes, because you've dealt with students, children, all the above.
Dance moms.
Oh, God bless you. Yes.
Yes, I have.
So coming here, because this is a higher end establishment.
Yes.
Of course, at times people can come across childish
Yes.
or immature.
We are a mid-rise luxury property.
Mm-hmm.
So our clientele is, can be, and it's like any business, including dance studio business.
Yes.
You have your certain individuals who are a little more demanding than others.
There you go. Okay. There
Yes,
you go.
I'm very well aware. At the end of the day, I think and I tell my mom this all the time. I said, Mom, I don't think I would have appreciated this opportunity nor this job straight out of college.
Oh.
So God
Okay.
put me through this path of being a director, owning my own dance studios, traveling all over the world as a master clinician. I've written syllabi and curricula, I should say, for universities in Monterrey and Mexico. So I've had all these amazing opportunities. I don't think that I would have appreciated this opportunity to work for Greystar had I not gone through the ups and downs of life.
My goodness.
So I appreciate it, and I will catch that bus every morning with a smile on my face. I will come to work every day and deal with, I love my job so much that even the grouchiest person really doesn't affect me like it would have probably affected most. Because at the end of the day, we're all human.
Yes.
And we all just want to feel appreciated.
Yes.
And that we're being listened to and heard.
Mm-hmm.
And that someone is in our corner or fighting on our behalf. And that's why I feel like I do well at my position here, because I immediately put myself sitting next to that person rather than across from that person.
Okay.
And as soon as someone feels like you're on their team and on their side, you're golden.
Yes, they'll take a bullet for you.
Yes.
And I've explained that through my transitions and careers, where I tell people, when you have someone that's sold out to you, and they know you have, support goes both ways. Oh, there's nothing that they wouldn't do.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you even take a pay cut just for that, because that bond, that relationship. So being here, are you over a sales team?
I am not.
Okay.
Here I'm a resident retention specialist.
Okay.
So I'm cross-training in leasing consulting and resident retention specialist, and hopefully one day property management. Yes.
Sweet.
So I'm moving into fast track, so to speak, here at Greystar Management. So I'm a lot of cross-training.
Yes.
So sometimes I feel like, woo. But I take a breather and I process it. I think that my life skills, owning my own businesses in the past, and my ability to absorb and process information. I'm a processor.
Gotcha.
I may not do it immediately. I'm one of those that on the drive home, having my glass of wine late at night, I'm like thinking about the entire day and how I can better prepare for the next day. And so that's how I've been able to wear many, many hats.
Yes.
And learn many, many things really quickly. Is I don't
Wow.
stop it when I leave here. I keep going until I get in front of my children, and then it's like I have to pump the brakes and then completely be able to be with my kids. When I have an opportunity. You know, my son's a man boy now. I call him man boy.
Oh yeah, he's 17.
He's 17. He's like, Ma, I don't need you. It's okay. Move downtown. I'll be 18 soon. You know, I'm like, okay.
Oh,
Let's stop that nonsense right there.
You pay no bills.
Yes. Are you going to eat a hot dog every day for the rest of your life?
Come on.
And ramen noodles? No. Listen, there will be plenty of days in your college life
Oh yes.
where you will be doing that. It is not going to happen your senior year in the Woodlands. Let's just make that clear.
Now, you mentioned something important.
Yes.
And I think it changes the dynamic of others that have been in your position
Sure.
compared to what you're doing. You said you didn't take things emotionally. You were able to break it down logically. How did you get, what turning point occurred that you were able to make that happen?
Gosh, I don't know if there was one decisive moment in my life. I've always been extremely emotional. Most dancers are creatives. Most artists, visual artists, we wear emotion on our sleeve.
Yes.
We're very emotionally connected to our environment. We see flowers and we go, oh, we hear music and we're like, oh. So we're very emotional driven beings,
Gotcha.
artists and
Understand.
dancers. So I'm also a analytical person. I use both sides of my brain for creative. At one point thought I was going to go to med school. Graduated at 16 from high school.
Oh, wow.
So I do have the academia behind me, but I used to struggle with it.
Okay.
And so what I had to do after going through a lot of strife in my life, like we all do.
Absolutely.
My mom having her third round of cancer. I lost a nephew very, very young. I've lost some incredible people in my life very young. My son was hit by a drunk driver at 16 and lost his best friend in his arms. So my family and I have gone through some really tough times.
Yes.
And I think that, honestly, Robert, I've never had anyone ask me, but that had to be the moment where I realized when you have to tell your son at 16 that God has taken his best friend
Yeah.
away
Yes.
to heaven, you know. As a female, a strong single mom, that's when you say, am I going to buckle and pass out right now in this emergency room? Or am I going to ask my God, my Savior, to give me the strength of 1,000 women and get in there and not lie to my son, but tell him the truth? Which was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I asked for a priest. The priest came. I'm Catholic. He prayed with me. I said, all I need is strength. I can do this. And I think that's where I realized I can't be emotional. Because my children see me weak and vulnerable and cry.
Right.
They become weak and vulnerable and cry. If they see me strong in adversity, they will be strong. So that's where I had to learn it's okay. Like, I've seen some of the darkest hours, unfortunately. Yes. And so I have learned to, I'm not saying I don't cry and I don't have my weak moments, because I'm human.
Right.
But I'm saying for the most part, I learned to pull my emotion. It hasn't been easy to pull my emotion out of a situation, not take things personally, and make good, sound decisions.
So that developed right there your endurance. And I know we mainly will talk about business, but something came to mind. Now, in the Woodlands, I've seen a lot of scenarios with teenagers where the suicide rate is pretty high in the Woodlands. It's astronomically high compared to the nation. And one thing that kind of changed what your sons will be able to see compared to their peers is seeing you go through those tough times. Because here's the thing, those tough times are a necessity for development. Most times we look at it, sometimes, oh, we're losing. And I always tell my son, you're learning. There's a difference. And so that experience right there, it's going to help out a lot of people because that's needed.
Right.
Then I'm pretty sure at times you thought you were the only one.
Right.
So
you know what? It was so bizarre for me. It's almost like you live this life if you've never had the unfortunate circumstance of losing someone that you love dearly. And this little boy, I'd seen him raised since he was 5, and he was my son's best friend since they were 5. So we lost him as senior. He was a senior in high school. And so what happens is you realize that you develop these life skills because you're going along, life's good, everything's perfect, and then it feels like you get whacked at the knees.
Yes. Yeah.
And you lose your breath because it comes from this unknown place that you've never visited. I had never in my life been in that situation, and within a blink of an eye, I'll never forget, I was dead asleep when I got that phone call from Cypress Hospital saying my son had been involved in an accident involving fatality. Didn't tell me if it was my son.
Right.
Didn't tell me if he had hurt others. I couldn't even tell you to this day. It's the grace of God. I got in my car to get to that emergency room as fast as I could. I didn't even know where Cypress Memorial Hospital was at the time. So that's when an opportunity comes where your mind, it was just wow, like life. So now I'm prepared. Now I realize how important my spirituality is.
Yes.
Now I know how important it is to always tell my children how much I love them every single day. Tell people every day how much, because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're only guaranteed this moment right now.
Exactly.
I'm looking at you.
Right.
So I know we have this moment, Robert, but we don't
gosh.
know when we leave here what happens.
Yeah.
And I need to be walking through life, a prayer warrior, free of, I'm free. I sleep well at night. I don't have concern. I don't have doubt, because I know he's got my back. I'm good.
And I hope you took note of that right there.
I sleep well. Mm-hmm.
That's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And so while you're here and if you've developed these life skills,
yes.
Now you're having a business. You
Yes.
have a business.
Yes.
What do you do?
Okay, so I have several businesses. My first business is Bubble Talk, which is my Facebook Live show. And basically I'm monetized by people sponsoring my show per episode, whether it be $50 per episode, $100 per episode.
Right.
And I give them a post, production shout out and a, pre-production shout out, and I tag them in all my social media. I do maybe 30 to 50 posts a week. I post a lot on social media, and I give them a lot of business and shout outs, and just even what my own sponsors like Northside Maserati, Bella Soleil Tanning, what they don't know is even when I'm not on film, I'm always letting people know about them, telling them, oh, you should go talk to so-and-so, they're great people.
Wow.
I facilitate a service for them that most regular forms of advertisement could not give them. And you and I both know, because now you have your own show,
yes,
that podcasting and live streamers, and this is where it's at.
Oh, absolutely.
This is where business grows. My second business, I'm part of a group called Elevosity. I'm sure you've heard about it. Happy Coffee. So I sell Happy Coffee to about 21 of my customers. I'm growing the business larger and larger each month, and it's a great way to start your morning, get super lean. It helps your body to metabolize quicker and able to get leaner and utilize. With that more energy, you get more out of your workouts, because I'm a big fitness fanatic. So that's my second business. Then my third business is here at 1414 Texas.
Yes.
Is helping all of my team. I have an incredible team. My property manager, Janaea White. Hi, Miss Janaea White. You're amazing. She's been training me. She's incredible. And is getting this place 100% leased. And we are at 96.6% occupancy, even in the last month or so. So go team. And so this is right now, this is my true joy and my true love, is growing my property management skills here at 1414 Texas and Graystar.
Wow. So when you developed, for example, your podcast,
yes,
your live stream,
yes,
you managed to get sponsorships.
Yes.
For those out there that may be thinking about something like that,
sure,
And I'm a big fan of college age,
Sure.
because I was a youth pastor,
Uh-huh.
and making money. We were creative. Our generation,
Yes.
we knew how to mow lawns. We knew how to hustle everything. These other kids, they don't know what to do for some reason. If you're looking, how did you develop your brand that you were able to be sponsored?
Well, at first, I'll be honest with you, when I first started to approach people about sponsoring me, they looked at me like, well, how many episodes do you have? And I'm like, none.
Right.
I'm actually just thinking about starting. And they were like, okay, Toni, we're going to be honest with you. Our advertisement dollars are limited. I'm sure you've heard this spiel.
Yes.
Every business I approach starts the same way. They must practice with a script and said, we're going to let you develop this, and we're going to watch you. And over a month's time, 2 months' time, 3 months' time, we want to see if you consistently stick to a plan. When you say Tuesday at 6 o'clock, is it every Tuesday at 6 o'clock?
Right.
Does it get changed to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 o'clock? Or there's some couple of weeks where you don't want to do it because you go on vacation? I said, no, I promise you I will consistently do this show for 100 episodes straight. I'm on episode 60.
Wow.
I've consistently done it except for 1 week. So 59 weeks straight. And it was the week that I took this position. I needed to get acclimated. It's been an incredible ride, and after so many months, I went back to the sponsors that I asked at the beginning, and I said, look, and they were like, first of all, there's a lot to say about your determination and the fact that you're sitting in my office again.
Right.
And I'm sitting there with a smile, and I said, I'm 3 months into it, and now I want you to see that I average 1,000 to 2,000 views per episode.
Yes.
I'm a production team by myself. I do everything alone. I am a single mom. I do all this other stuff, and I think I can inspire people, and I think I can motivate people that if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Right.
And there's so much negativity, Robert, in the world. I want to try to give a little glimmer of light.
Right.
A little, if I can make a difference in somebody's life who may be contemplating having a Facebook Live show or a YouTube show or a podcast, I want to encourage them to do it. If you have a voice,
Yes.
someone will listen.
Absolutely.
If you have a message, someone will hear it.
Right.
And if a little boy can make millions of dollars opening toys on YouTube who does hardly speak, then somebody like me who can speak
Right.
can make her little $200 or $300 a month. And that's how it started.
Right.
And that's how it started. I was very persistent. I went to Northside Maserati. I said, look, I know a certain caliber of people.
Yes.
I have a sphere and influence of people who would love your cars. I think your cars are very masculine, and I think women actually should drive them because I think they're feminine. There's a feminine side. And most really nice, no offense, luxury car dealerships out there let other men, without a hesitation, be their brand ambassador. And when you see a beautiful woman, you think that's somebody's wife.
Right.
Or a young girl that probably is not real responsible, like supermodel young, and shouldn't be driving my car. So I represent a worldly woman in her 50s
Yes.
who has driven I'm a car fanatic, so I love cars.
Okay.
I appreciate cars. I remember, this is really embarrassing, but being a high schooler, and I was driving down Westheimer. Those of you who grew up in 1980s in Houston, up and down Westheimer, when every other girl was looking at the cute guy in the Camaro or the Trans Am,
Yes.
I was in the car checking out the 944 Porsche Targa,
Yep.
the 450 SL convertible hardtop Mercedes. I knew cars. And I'm like, look at the rims on that car. Ooh, is that camel leather interior? That's beautiful. My girlfriends are like, are you a guide? But I've always loved cars.
Yep.
So when I started my podcast and then I started my Facebook Live show, I said, who would I want to sponsor me? What makeup brand? No. What Lululemon? What sport athletic? I said, no. I said, I'm going to go after a brand that reminds me of myself. And I think that Maserati has been underestimated for a very long time.
Yes.
I think they're a great Italian brand. Just like the Alfa Romeo, that's another car that I think people underestimate. And most men think only men are looking at cars, but there's some women out there I'm going to speak for them who are independent and make their own money and would love and can afford to drive a Maserati or a Porsche or a Mercedes. So I think that these luxury cars need to start marketing more to female independent women.
Oh, I totally agree.
So I totally represent that genre.
Hey, you know what?
And here I am.
You're right. And my wife is the same way. My wife told me when we were dating, her dream car is a Porsche 911 twin turbo.
Oh my goodness.
And so that was always my dream car. So I knew I had to marry her.
Oh yeah.
And she looked at me a couple of years ago. Hey, I want a Shelby Cobra Super Snake. Really? Where'd that come from? I'm getting teary-eyed and emotional. I'm like, oh my gosh, I won.
And if she likes sports, she is definitely a keeper.
She does.
Oh my
And she
gosh.
knows sports.
Oh, me too.
So yes. See,
yeah.
I'm telling you.
I mean, I had two sons.
Right.
I had to learn all about football, all about baseball, about soccer. I mean, basketball. They all played intramural sports year round. My son's a runner, track runner now at Woodlands High School. I'm a runner, so I'm very athletic and I'm very sports oriented. I love sports.
Oh my goodness.
And I work 3 blocks from Minute Maid.
Yeah.
From the World Series champions, Houston Astros.
You know what? Any inquiries on her dating life come through me. It's $1,200 to meet her.
There we go.
Anyway, split that. Anyway, no, but
You're
thank you so much for your time.
No, you're welcome.
One thing I wanted to shine a light on. You said your mother was dealing with cancer. Now that also helped develop your strength. What has she given you while she's going through this? When you were able to see her go through it a third time, what kind of strength is she giving you, or is she supporting you, or are you supporting her now?
Well, I mean, she is definitely supporting me. I literally, for the first 9 to 14 days, dropped everything I was doing, from my dance position at Dance Vault, which is another dance studio in the Woodlands, to being a mom, and made both my parents. I had my father in one hospital having a heart surgery, and I had my mom being diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer that had metastasized to her abdomen.
Oh wow!
At the exact same time, and I'm the oldest of 4, and my whole world went upside down. And I was living in Woodlands, and they were in San Antonio. And those of you who have been so incredibly supportive, thank you so much, with prayers and so much support. And I literally was the one who began to fall apart and unravel. Yes, during that process. And all I wanted to do was be next to my mom, didn't want to change clothes, didn't want to leave her side, was documenting everything the doctor said.
Wow.
I mean, then I would run across the street, literally, go be with my dad, it was just, and I remember looking at my mom, and she cried for one brief moment, and then she looked at me and she said, I'll never forget this. She said, I want to take a shower. And I was like, right now? It was the most odd thing. This was a very pivotal moment for me. So I helped her take a shower. She came out and she goes, now I want you to comb my hair. And I'm like, okay, I think mom's had too much medication. Let me comb her hair. Then she looked at me and she's like, now I want you to do my makeup.
Oh yeah.
So I did the makeup. And she said, I want to look at myself in the mirror. And she looked at herself in the mirror and she said, now I'm ready to kick this cancer in the butt. And she didn't say butt. And my mom is like a Mother Teresa. She has a degree in theology from St. Thomas University. She's a theologian. And this woman looked herself in the mirror and she said, I'm ready. And from that moment on, the tables turned and she said, it's time for you to go back home. It's time for you to go take care of your boys. It's time for you to change whatever, because life is not a guarantee of bed of roses.
Right.
And now you're going to help me from afar. You don't need to be here every day, because all I could think of is, this is my mom. She is my rock. She is the one who taught me to be everything I am. How could I leave her at a moment like this?
My goodness.
And she was like, no, get your stuff.
Ooh.
So from that point on, it is so hard for me. I'm telling you, even in my weakest moment where I think I put in 12 hours today, I've got to commute home. I've got to go check on my son. What's for dinner? I mean, just the simplest things in life. becomes so heavy when you have so much on your plate.
Right.
I stop for a minute, I call my mom, and she's like, hey honey, what are you doing? I'm like, that's all I need. That's when you know people are in your life, your parents, your close friends, your family members, to direct you, to direct the orchestra of your life.
Right.
To give you the clarity, to put things in perspective. And I tell my mom, you're the light, Mom. You are fighting cancer, but you don't even realize you're my light. You're how I get through my day.
She is phenomenal.
She's amazing. Mary Helen Martinez.
I was going to ask you for her name.
She is put, I mean, listen, if there's a person that was put on this planet to be a light for people, she was 25 years with American Cancer Society.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She retired as head of human resources for American Cancer Society there on Westheimer. Knows some of the most brilliant oncologists, very familiar with MD Anderson. We're all part of the familiar cancer study there at MD Anderson.
Yeah.
My mom's incredible, and to see her buckle for a moment,
Right.
and then let's get ready because we're going to fight this. It is so hard for me as, a healthy woman,
Right.
God-fearing woman, for me to be down about anything. That's where I get my strength. That's my little nugget of information for those of you out here.
Yes.
If you do not, those of you out there who don't have a light, let my mom be the light for you. Know that there's a woman out there, 77 years old, fighting breast cancer for the third time. She had a full mastectomy at 42 years old. Came back at 60, now she's at 77 years old with her third round. Like, people can't live to say they've lived cancer 3 times, and my mom is going to do it at 77.
Well, I'll tell you what, thank you so much for this opportunity and sharing part of your life. I'm telling you what.
Thank you.
My viewers are going to be enthused about
this. Oh my
this.
goodness. I feel like I went too deep there, Robert.
No, because here's the thing.
Okay.
Most times when we hear motivational speeches or we hear people go through tough times, they will skim by their tough time and not show the audience what it really meant to them. You are such a dynamic woman going through what you've gone through and still have the mindset to get the stage, come down from the stage and go into the audience and share. And so this is tremendous. You took the spotlight off yourself and shined it on everyone else. And that is what makes dynamic people dynamic. So I need you to understand, I appreciate this time. Appreciate your story. Thank you so much.
No, I want to thank you for the opportunity. I mean, I really think there's an incredible need and desire from all of us who follow social media for great shows that incorporate the importance of your spirituality and how that dynamic folds into business and everyday life. And people they think this is my spiritual life and this is my home life and this is my work life. And that's not how we function. No. That's not how we get through our days. And I think for someone like you, you are obviously a light. You came all the way down here. No. I'm so appreciative. A lot of my Woodlands friends are like, you're crazy. We are not going down to see you. You need to come back home and then we'll go out and have our dinner together. And I'm like, okay. But I appreciate you coming out here and I appreciate the opportunity to be your first guest on your incredible show. I wish you incredible success. You have found a friend in me.
Thank you.
So whatever you need, whatever support you need, I want you to know, Robert, I'm here. And I'm one of those, I'm not a, fair weather friend. I'm one of those friends that when I call you my friend, it's because I want you to be my friend for life, not friend for a moment.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're so welcome.
Goodness. Thank you all for tuning in.